Welcome to BigCountryPreps.com. I'm Evan Wren, and this is our Countdown to Two-A-Days series, our daily look at an area football team and the key questions we're going to be answering about that team in our August 20th preseason football preview here at Big Country Preps. I'm here with my partner, Dan Youngblood, and today, Dan, we begin our countdown with the Haskell Indians.
Yeah, Haskell, it's a kind of a new era in Haskell. Coach McLemore retired after last season, and they will be welcoming in a new coach in Creighton Henderson, a first-time head coach, comes over as Wellington's offensive coordinator. So a lot to talk about with this Haskell team. We'll talk about some of those questions here in just a minute. But yeah, this is going to be a fun one to get this series kicked off with.
Before we get going, we want to remind you folks to please hit the subscribe button. And then after that, please hit the little bell so you'll get notifications each and every time that Big Country Preps comes up with a new video.
And with that, let's go ahead and jump in to our episode tonight and talk about some of the key questions facing this Haskell football program. And the first one kind of centered around something I just mentioned, a new coach, a first-time head coach, and Coach Creighton Henderson, former Wellington offensive coordinator. And my question is just how quickly will this program and this team be able to kind of adapt to what he's bringing to this program? This is a team with a lot of talent coming back. They've got 19 of their 26 lettermen returning, including 8 offensive and 7 defensive starters. They're also bringing up call-ups from a 7-2 JV team. So this is a program that on paper looks to improve on last year's 4-6 record. The big question for me is you do have a new coach. You've got someone who's probably going to be bringing in some new schemes, some new philosophies. How quickly will the players adapt to what Coach Henderson is bringing, and will they be able to kind of maximize what they have with the talent they've got returning?
Yeah, that's gonna be a big key for them. I mean, if they can quickly soak in that new system, they've got a lot of people back. So it should be interesting to see what they can put together, but they have to adapt to a new system quickly. So that'll be a key question. I have a question also on the defensive side of the football for Haskell. They're going to be basing out of a 50 front, but with a cover zero, which to me, this is going to be one aggressive outfit coming in and trying to get the football away from you, create havoc. A gambling type of scheme. It's going to be interesting to see what they put. Now, obviously, that's just their base front. So they'll have cover one, cover two packages, I'm sure, but it still is an interesting scheme that we're going to be looking at.
Yeah, we kind of talked before we got started, kind of making some comparisons to that old 10-1 that we've seen some programs run in the past years. So it's gonna be fun to see just how aggressive this Haskell defense is. Our last question for Haskell's on the other side of the football, and it's really a positive for them. They've got a junior quarterback, Hagen Pinkerton, back, a dual threat kid who passed for over 1,500 yards, ran for almost 1,000, 26 total touchdowns. And the best part is this is a guy who's only a junior, but he's now played a lot of football for this program. So my question is just how big of a leader can he be for this team, and what kind of step forward can he take? Because he's already accomplished quite a bit in his first 2 years of high school. I'm interested to see if he can step into that upper echelon of big country quarterbacks and really be a guy that helps them take a big step forward because he has that kind of talent. He's a very good athlete, this Pinkerton.
Yeah, that's going to be another key element for Haskell. Not only soaking in that new system, but how fast will Pinkerton adapt to it and be able to utilize his skills and his experience that he's already accrued through his first 2 years. All right, before we show you Haskell's schedule and start talking about that, we want to thank a few of our sponsors, beginning with For the Love of the Game Broadcasting and our old friend Terry Slavens, owner of K-Lakes 93.5 FM out of Breckenridge, 97.7 KATX out of Eastland, Classic Country AM 1330 out of Graham, 94.7 FM KWKQ out of Graham, KROO 1430 AM out of Breckenridge, and KWBY 98.5 FM out of Ranger. That is For the Love of the Game Broadcasting. Also, Rob Durham, sales consultant up at Bear Chevrolet Buick Cadillac up in Breckenridge. If you're in the market for a vehicle, new or used, give Rob a shout. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Call him at 254-559-2266. That's Rob Durham at Bear Chevrolet Buick Cadillac in Breckenridge. And finally, Calvary Resources and Construction, located in Breckenridge, but they serve the entire big country. Makers of custom standing seam roofing, made on location, and all commercial roofing applications. For more information, give Kobe Walker a shout at 254-246-5546. That's Calvary Resources and Construction in Breckenridge. All right, and with that, let's take a quick look at Haskell's 2025 schedule. They open the season on the 29th of August. That's going to be a home date with Cross Plains. A road date at Quanah will follow on September the 5th. Another road date at Abilene TLCA will follow on the 12th of September, followed by a home date with Anson on the 19th. And that actually shapes up that game with Anson shapes up to be a good one because a month in they're going to be used to that schedule or the new system, and they've got a lot of talent coming back. Haskell does, and Anson should bring home a challenge to them. That should be a fun one.
Agreed. And then they open up District 6-2A Division 2 play on September 26th with a home date against Petrolia, followed by a road game October 3rd at Seymour. They then come back home to play Monday the following week before going to Archer City on October 17th. Then they host Windthorst October 24th, have an open date on Halloween, and then they finish up their regular season at Electra on November 7th. So that is their District 6-2A D2 schedule. A pretty good schedule overall, I think. I think this will be a good opportunity for Haskell to get a few tests on there while also having an opportunity to get some wins.
All right, and with that, let's speculate about the game of the year. Now, I just talked about it in depth, and normally the game of the year for a team is going to be a district game, but a home date with Anson, heading into district, that's just prior to district. It's their last non-district game. And Anson is generally a competitive ball club, a tough ball club. If Haskell knocks them off, this is a playoff team from last year, Anson. If they knock them off, that sets the tone for them going into district play. I think that if they can knock off Anson in that last non-district game, that's going to boost their confidence heading into district play. And it's a tough district, obviously, but actually a non-district game can be important, and this one might be for Haskell.
Yeah, I can see that kind of being a jumping off point or a springboard into what last year was a super competitive district. You've got Windthorst at the top, who's kind of been the favorite for years and probably is again this year. But after that, it's pretty wide open. You had I think like five of the seven teams right there within a win of each other, basically. So the playoffs from that 2 seed to the 4 seed were really really tight, and I think that you're right. I think that Anson game has an opportunity to create some momentum and some confidence. And then you open district with two biggies right off the bat with Petrolia and Seymour. Petrolia made the playoffs as that 4th seed last year. Seymour finished tied with Petrolia and Haskell at the same record. So you have to think that those two games right off the bat are going to be big ones for them. And you're coming off that Anson game that if you can win that one, you've got a chance, I think, to take some momentum into district play.
Yeah, those district games, Seymour, Archer City, Windthorst, those are generally going to be the most competition for you. And Electra is improving, obviously. So it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be important for them to go into that league with some confidence. And I think actually I like the way it's structured. I like the way this non-district schedule is structured because they've got winnable games to open. And then they've got a challenge in Anson just before they jump off into district. And it might really help them go into district, on a high note, confident and ready.
And one interesting thing just to note is that both Cross Plains, who they play in the season opener, and Anson, who they play in their non-district in their final non-district game, are going to be in a similar situation with new coaches as well. We've had a lot of coaching turnover this year, so we're going to have a lot of coaches leading a program for the first time, and Haskell's going to play two of those in their non-district schedule. So I think that will be kind of an interesting thing to see because you're going to have a lot of teams uh, in similar situations, kind of adapting to new coaches and trying to put their best foot forward going into district.
All right, and with that, that's going to just about wrap things up for our Countdown to Two-A-Days series episode on the Haskell Indians. But before we do that, we want to remind you, August 20th is the big day. That's the day that we will release the most comprehensive football preview in the big country. That's Wednesday, August the 20th. Don't forget to join us at bigcountrypreps.com.
In the meantime, thank you for joining us for this episode of our Countdown to Two-A-Days series. And make sure you return tomorrow when we kick off our District 7 countdown with the Albany Lions.